In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work a death's head button if you are left-handed. I am not naturally left-handed, so I hope that you'll forgive any steps that may look a little bit awkward. You will need a button mold, thread. I'm using a cotton perle number 8 for this demonstration, a tapestry needle, a scissors, beeswax comes in very handy, and I will be marking out using a circle gauge. I will also be doing the stick method, so you need a stick or a thicker pin. The first thing to do is mark off your button mold in quarters. As you become experienced, you will not need to do this unless you want to have a whole set of buttons and you're very particular about getting them exactly matched up. But as a beginner, it really helps to get everything even. The beeswax. Rub the beeswax on the back, sides, and the face of the button. That will help the thread to stick just a little bit. Again, it's not something that you need to do once you're more experienced, unless you have a particularly slippery button mold, such as a bone mold. Place your thread, the end of your thread, on the back of the button and press into the wax there. The thread is still attached to the spool. There's no need to cut it off. Now you need to work from bottom to top at that first mark that you marked with the circle gauge. So you've divided your button mold in half. Now we're going to thicken that line, so we're going to wrap 2 more ends. That's what a length of thread is called in this case, either side of that central. That gives us a broad stripe around the center. Now you have to rotate your button clockwise and hold on to the thread at the back. Work again from bottom to top, 1, and then 2 either side. Your wraps need to be quite tight and as straight as you can possibly make them. You can tweak them just a little bit if you need to, as I do, not being left-handed. Now rotate your button again clockwise. Try to hold your button at the edge of the button mold now, and working from bottom to top, lay 1 wrap to anchor on that foundation cross. Rotate anti-clockwise and repeat. Rotate anti-clockwise and repeat. Now you have a square. Now we simply continue to rotate and repeat, working towards the center of the button. As a lefty, you will be working, always rotating your button clockwise. So in other directions that I may give for button making, anytime when I say to rotate it anti-clockwise, you rotate clockwise, and vice versa. And basically that should make it very simple for you to follow the same instructions with any wrapped or wrapped and woven buttons. Try to keep your threads tight, but not too tight. Try to keep the threads as straight as possible. You will have a tendency to try to push them all really close together. You will have a much nicer button if you do not do that. Give the threads a little bit of space. That way they can settle into their natural place without too much bulk and curvature. And when you're working with threads such as floss silks, you will find that this is really helpful. Just leave a little bit of space if you can, and concentrate more on keeping everything straight. So you can tweak if you need to, because you don't want the curve. You want to keep them as straight as possible. Now, as you're wrapping, you will come to a point where it starts to feel as though the thread might be slipping at the back of the button. And at this point is where we need to put the stick into place. So, what you do is carefully hold on to that thread, because you must remember that with a thread wrap button, it will all come undone if you let go. From the back, insert a stick at that central hole. Actually, I've got a shorter stick to use for the filming. Okay, and you see that protrudes up. Now you repeat your turning, which is a little more awkward for me with my left hand, but I'll get it sorted. And what actually happens is, as you turn, you're still doing exactly the same thing, but as you turn, the stick is stopping the thread from going off the edge, because the thread is wrapping around the stick. So if I turn over, you'll see it's wrapping around the stick at the back. Continue as far as you can before you get to where the stick actually is protruding up. And at this point, very gently push it down so that it's flat. Do not remove the stick, or all of your wraps will come undone. Continue to wrap, covering over the center. There we go. Now, at this point, you need to now cut the thread from the spool. I find it easy to use the third hand, but you can just hold on to it. I do actually usually just hold on to the button, unless it's a very complex design, but obviously for filming it's much easier for me to pop it into the clip. So I've threaded the end, a tapestry needle, carefully remove the button from my clip, and these arms now need to be secured, because if they are not, and you remove that stick, then what's going to happen is the whole thing's going to unwrap. So just go around each one of them, and of course this bit does not matter if you are left-handed or right-handed, which is why I'm using my right hand to do the sewing. I don't think you'd want to see me attempting to sew with my left hand. It's advisable not to let your needle come undone. When that's nice and secure, remove the stick, and then I usually go around another time after I've removed the stick, just so that everything is really tight, because if these wraps are not tight, that's where your button can actually come undone. And what that is doing as well is it creates a little bit of a shank. So if you put your stick in right from the beginning, you can get a very deep shank. If you put your stick in further towards the end, as I did, you get a shallower shank. Thread through, trim close, turn around, and you can just tweak any of your wraps if you need to, and that's why you want to leave space, because by leaving space you've got a little bit of room to tweak and let everything even out nicely. You can also come up from underneath and work a little cross stitch at the center if you would like.